That's the first step. And I think that the second step is to prioritize. Going to school is important. Keeping good relations with my parents and my family is utterly important, but not as important as my soul burning. Not important as me losing my Islam. Not important as me being miserable and waking up with the fear of living another day and dreading to go to work or to go to school. So you guys have to prioritize. What's more important to you? What is greater to you? Your peace of mind or pleasing someone by obeying the formalities? Are we understanding this? Your parents are upset that you married a sister that was from another race, or she was younger than you or older than you. But when you go home and you look at your wife and you talk with your wife, everything of the problems of the dunya immediately leaves your head. You go to sleep at night, alhamdulillah. You wake up, alhamdulillah. Or you marry the person that your parents want you to marry, or you have to marry for your status quo, but you're miserable. You hate him, he hates you. You don't love him, he doesn't love you. But at least everyone is happy and smiling. Look at who my daughter married. And as I said before, this is what's going to happen to most of us if we don't try to change. This is what's going to happen to most of us. We're going to just go with the flow, obey the formalities, and we're going to be miserable. So me personally, some people may call me selfish. They may say, Mufti, you're selfish, or you don't come from my culture, you don't understand what it's like to have pressure, so on and so forth. Anybody or anything that comes before my happiness and my peace of mind, and they're trying to make an ultimatum, it's either me or you, they automatically get removed from my sight. There's no discussion. Live miserable to make you happy, or live happy and you're miserable. There's no discussion in my book. Why can't we live together? Why can't I be happy and you be happy? You respect me, I respect you, so on. So why does it have to be an ultimatum? Everyone understand this? But if it came down to it, I'm not going to be miserable or depressed for anyone's good pleasure. Mother, father, children, wife, teacher, friend, I'm sorry. And that's because life is short. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He gives you things. And if you don't take care of those things, and if you don't invest them, Allah may take those things from you. And the greatest thing that Allah has given you, the greatest gift that you can be handed, and the greatest investment that you can make is your iman, your faith as a Muslim. And the moment you start violating your iman and infringing upon your iman and disrespecting your iman, it may be taken away from you and you may not get it back. You may not get it back. The Prophet ﷺ tells us in the authentic narration, لا يزني الزاني حين يزني وهو مؤمن. That when a believer commits fornication, when a servant commits fornication, at the time of fornication, he isn't a believer. He is not a believer when he's making that haram contact with the opposite sex. He's not a believer. Does that mean if you have a girlfriend, if you have a baby before wedlock or outside of wedlock, if you're cheating, does that mean that you're not a Muslim anymore, you're a Kafir? It doesn't necessarily mean that. Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said that this hadith means, يُنْزَعُ مِنْهُ نُورُ الْإِيمَانِ. He says that the light of Iman will be removed from him or her at the time of zina. So at the time of zina, your Iman is taken from you. And other versions of this narration say that if Allah wills to give it back, He will. And if not, it may not come back to you. So, what is bigger and more important in my mind? My mother being upset at me because I married a sister from another country. She's not a black sister. I married a sister from, let's say, Palestine, for example. She's not black. My mother, she's upset. This is hypothetical. Alhamdulillah, I don't have those issues. My mother doesn't she doesn't impose on me. Interracial marriages are fully accepted, alhamdulillah, in my household, in my culture. But I'm just making an example. So she says to me, if you come home with this Arab woman, if you come home with this lady from the Middle East, don't come into my house. Don't bring your mixed baby into my household. I don't want no woman that comes from another place. You have to bring home a black sister like you. I want my grandchildren to look like you, etc. My mother's going to be upset at me. She's going to be mad at me. But if I don't get married to the sister from Syria, and I feel for her, and she feels for me, and there's affection between us, I may fall into zina. Because it's only a matter of time before a man and a woman who like each other to follow the nature of human beings. And when I make zina, waliyadu billah, Allah could take that iman from me, and it may not come back. So Allah could be eternally mad at me. Allah could be mad at me for leaving Islam, waliyadu billah, and that's ultimate loss and destruction. Or my mother is upset and mad at me. Should it be like this? Is this ultimatum even right? That's not the point. The bottom line is, that's the bottom line. So who do I put forth? Allah, my iman, my Islam, or the displeasure of my mother? Many of us, we know that Allah comes first, as you said, but it doesn't mean that's how we behave. Our actions prove otherwise. And oftentimes we fear people more than we fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone understand this or not? Disobeying your parents is haram in Islam, unless they tell you to do something that's haram. And then disobeying them becomes what? Obligatory. You have to say no to them. And you tell your mother, look, Ummi, I love this sister. She loves me. I want to get married to her. Everything's good and compatible, except that she's from overseas and I'm from America. Why can't I get married to her? And she refuses to be Islamically compliant or reasonable. And I know that I'm going to fall into sin. And that sin can lead to a list of dangers and problems. I have to give precedence to disobeying my mother. I have to. And if not, only Allah knows what's going to take place if I don't get married to her, so on and so forth. And that applies to work and anything else. I'm just making an example of this. Obviously, this is tough. It's not an easy decision to make. But you got to ask yourself the question, what's more important? What comes first? Are we going to understand this or not? So these are just words of wisdom.